tired of women.
That's no good. This
Come on, man.
Stealing our parents' credit card.
Clap for that, you stupid bastard.
The fruit basket.
Let's go.
Let's actually go.
Let's actually literally completely go right now. Let's go.
Let's get in the car and go.
Let's get in the car and go. Let's not get in a car accident. Let's actually not die in a car accident. Let's go.
1, 2, buckle my shoe. Let's go.
It's been a very eventful 24 hours. First of all, I farted in my sleep this morning.
It woke you up.
It woke me up. I had a non-sexual throuple dream about Michael Pena.
Michael Pena, which is so funny. I
being
thought
our
you meant
throuple.
Dan Pena when you first told me this
Not
morning.
Dan Pena, no. Michael Pena, the actor.
That he was like, you need to grow up, cocksucker.
I know.
In our house.
Yeah, and
he was just yelling
Michael
at us.
Pena being somebody who I have literally zero sexual attraction to, but he was a very nice in this like theoretical imaginary relationship.
He seems like a good guy.
And we watched the
Gogeta versus King Kong.
Gogeta movie. Cheers.
Gogeta versus Hong Kong.
Gogeta. Yeah, exactly. Cheers.
Cheers.
It was weird. It was a weird movie.
Mm-hmm. It just like nothing made any sense, but that's what it was like fun because of it.
Yeah, well, like
It was like, who cares about following a plot?
No,
Let's
no.
just watch the action.
there was no plot. It was just
yeah.
like basically like they would just find ways to get the characters to different locations, so then the monsters could fight again.
Yes.
It was like
Millie Bobby Wobbly.
Millie Bobby Goobly. Yeah.
She traveled to Hong Kong in a high-speed underground train that with what?
A podcaster?
Brain crawlers? Mind crawlers? What are those things? With a podcaster and a New Zealand boy.
Yes, and then it was also weird because she kept picking up his New Zealand accent.
Yeah,
because they just let him. It's the kid from Hunt for the Wilder People.
Ricky Baker.
Ricky Baker.
Ricky Baker.
And
Happy birthday.
Hey, it's your birthday. But yeah, she kept taking on the New Zealand accent, which was really strange.
I think she's just not the actress that everybody thought she was going to be when Stranger Things came out. Everybody was like, oh my God, she's a star child. When really she was just a theater kid who somehow landed a good role.
Where she didn't talk.
Or she literally did not talk.
Yeah, for the beginning of it. And
so
then,
she like literally doesn't have... I don't think she's as talented as we think she is.
No.
But now they're using her. They're just recycling her over and over as the same role every time.
And I think like once like Stranger Things sort of ran its course, people started to realize like, oh, they actually duped us. It's like because like kind of like this double mutant variant we'll talk about. It was like it's a double mutant Demigorgon. Like in the third season, they just kept like the same monsters, the same shit. Like it never changed at all. But the Russians now are involved. It was so fucking dumb. But yeah, the Godzilla movie is stupid, absolutely unmitigated retardation, but fun to watch.
Very
visually.
fun, yeah.
All of a sudden, it's interesting because like all the characters are like, oh my God, thank God King Kong's winning, while he's killing literally millions of people in Hong Kong, which I think was a little tip of the hat to mainland China.
Yes, they're Chinese producers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they just made Hong Kong look like Tron. Like a video game. It was so fucking weird.
Neon lights, everything. It was very geometric.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, Greg says that's what I love about Pacific Rim. That was a good movie. Does it make sense? No. It's like great. No, but it's so good. Yeah, Pacific Rim was a better movie though because like the thing was like Pacific Rim did a pretty good job of explaining like kaijus, like where they come from, these kinds of things. This movie was just like no explanation of anything. Like for example, like so for no reason they're taking Kong to Hollow Earth, I guess is what they call it.
Yeah,
like
it's literally like Middle Earth
to be with his family.
I guess? I don't know.
Or like to open some butthole portal, I guess was the thing. And then
he finds some primitive axe in Middle Earth that is like supercharged or whatever.
Not to mention the human characters played by Alexander Swedish Face, Skarsgård. And then an actress, I can't remember her name, but she's a really good actress. And then her daughter's deaf. They make like Kong into Coco, like the sign language monkey.
Yeah.
So like this is supposed to take place in now times, but they're in like these futuristic Star Wars spaceships. I don't know. Like to get down to Hollow Earth, like they have like blue blue engines,
Yeah.
like blue fire engines. It like the movie, and again, like Millie Bobby Gobbly and the podcaster guy didn't need to be in the movie at all. Like they served no purpose other than just to be like, look, it's her. It's the girl that you guys all know.
Yeah.
But it served absolutely no purpose. It was the stupidest, most entertaining thing I've watched in quite some time.
Yeah. You had a way of making the movie, like several times throughout the movie, you were like, oh, they're going to do this. And they didn't, but it would have been so much better had they actually done that.
Yeah.
Like Millie Bobby Brown controlling, mild spoiler, a robot Godzilla.
You could spoil the shit out of this movie, and everyone already knows what's going to happen. It's
Yeah.
like Godzilla's going to win. No, I'm sorry. The monkey. King Kong's going to win.
Yeah.
Like, and so, and then they're like, okay, well, this King Kong battling Godzilla is not entertaining enough, so we got Robot Godzilla.
Wait, did you ever see Batman versus Superman?
Yeah.
Did
what
you
a
watch it?
Terrible fucking
In the
movie.
end, it's old now, so we can spoil it. But like, do they end up like getting along at the very end?
No, he kills Superman.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What a wait!
Which is-
Batman, a man in a millionaire in a spandex suit, kills a literal god.
Yeah, like and well, it's like him and Lex Luthor, from what I can remember, and then it's like in the service of like reviving Zod or something. I don't know. Superman and the whole
In the
universe
service of reviving Assad.
of reviving Assad, who, by the way, in this DC universe is dead and no longer the leader of Syria. No, it was. I mean, like I've said it to you before, and I might have said it on the podcast before, but like I think Superman is the stupidest fucking superhero of all time because he so like in order to make Superman interesting, because he's super OP. Like, in fact, like he actually wasn't supposed to be able to fly, which is kind of an interesting fun fact. Like the statement, like he can leap over buildings and leaps and bounds and like these kinds of you jump over buildings, leaps and bounds, blah, blah, blah. Like they've tried to in the 50s or whatever, when they first started like making live action Superman stuff, they tried to make it look like he would jump, but it looked stupid. But flying was easier for them to like actually show on video.
Wow.
So then canonically now Superman can fly because they couldn't make it not look dumb.
Wow.
For him to just jump high. But like at the same time, okay, so he's like in Superman's invincible. He has laser eyes.
Yeah.
He can fly.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like no weakness other than some magic space rock.
Right.
So like you would think that they'd have to make at least Clark Kent interesting, but he's a milquetoast, uninteresting faggot. So it's like I don't really get.
He's a journalist, right?
Yeah, which is even so much gayer. Like at least Peter Parker's like a photojournalist. You know what I mean? So like he kind of like.
But Clark Kent just being like fucking
writes think pieces about cats.
Some New York Times, think piece.
It's just like about cat weddings or cat vaginas. I mean, it's the stupidest. It's the stupidest shit. And so yeah, like Batman versus Superman was just a fucking retarded movie, which was like Zack Snyder in his worst. And then I think he does die at the end because that's why Justice League, like a big part of the plot is reviving him. Even though it would have been much more interesting if he just wasn't in the movie at all.
Yeah.
But like that's kind of the problem with DC movies is like the DC universe in general is like they created all these superheroes that are ridiculously overpowered, juxtaposed with normal assholes like Batman, who's just a fucking rich drunk.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They kind of suck. I attempted to watch the Snyder Cut. I don't know if we talked about that, but I fell asleep.
Wonder Woman is in that one, right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. So she's also like from a world of just godly Glamazonian women,
Right.
But then you literally have normal people who are superheroes.
You know what I like because they never like
silly.
what never gets explained in Wonder Woman is how do they make more children, because there's no dudes, and so like unless these people are like conceived by immaculate conception,
they're doing bone grafts.
Yeah, exactly.
They have the technology.
We have the technology.
What?
But like I was thinking about my Michael Pena dream, and I decided to get this dropped.
Damn, boy, were you just frying chicken in there? For real, though. You piss loud as fuck. I think that's pretty cool.
You glad I got that?
I'm so glad. That is such a good drop, and I'm surprised it took us this long to actually implement it. Yeah. Damn, boy, you frying chicken in there? Mm-hmm. That is such a good drop.
It's definitely one of my favorites.
Nah, for real though.
You piss loud as fuck though. Yeah, so I figured it was probably worth having. And then, you know, like we were like reminiscing over our, because like there's like nothing to talk about.
I know. The news sucks.
What?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, if you guys haven't subscribed to Perry's YouTube channel, he's been streaming games.
Yay! Yeah, that was fun when we ate pizza and watched it the other night.
Mm-hmm.
It's very fun. You were playing Factorio?
I
think it was Factorio.
Yeah. It looked interesting.
Yeah, I've never played it, but I've heard about it.
It looked like a spookier, more adult Minecraft.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
what about your dream made you think of, damn, boy, you piss loud as fuck?
I don't know. There's something like really...
Was Michael Pena pissing in our toilet?
No. It was so weird because... Actually, let me pull up Michael Pena because, like, you guys need to see who this is. Because when you see who this actor is, if you don't know, you'll know exactly who he is. He's like always a side character.
Yeah, you'll recognize.
This
him.
is Michael Pena. Yeah. So
I mean, I think he'd be a very pleasant third person to have in our relationship, Jordan.
yeah,
I think maybe we should reach out.
Reach out to Michael Pena. Be like, hey, are you interested in being a gay throuple?
Hey, is he gay?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Hey, you want to move to our house?
Yeah, exactly.
We got plenty of space in here.
It's not nothing sexual.
Nothing sexual. We'll just all share a bed.
Which is like what was interesting about the dream is like it was not sexual. It was just he was just a nice guy that lived with us, but you know, and I had a theory as to why randomly Michael Pena popped into my dream.
Yeah,
was because in that movie the podcaster guy in the Godzilla movie was the guy. I don't know the actor's name, but he's in Atlanta. He's like the main character who's like the rapper. Mm-hmm. But it would have been the exact role they would have cast Michael Pena in. Yes. Like as kind of the eccentric podcaster guy. I mean, like that's kind of who Michael Pena is all the time. Yeah. Is that character. So I think that's why I had Michael Pena on the brain.
Michael Pena on the brain.
Michael Pena on the brain.
That's a great podcast title.
Michael Pena
on the brain.
The Michael Pena podcast. We only talk about Michael Pena.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, Paris is cutish. I mean,
cutish.
But he like, you know, like I mean, you can't really judge an actor's like actual like how nice they are just based on like roles they play. But Michael Pena seems like a nice guy to me.
He does.
I gotta say. So I think like largely like my imagination of the type of person that he could theoretically be was what the dream was. Yeah, it was just like he was just sweet and like if we were like sad he'd hold us. You know what I mean? And then we'd go away from Michael Pena to have sex.
Right, we'd have sex, you and I, and he'd be, I don't know, in the other room,
he'd have like
making
little,
dinner for us.
Yeah, exactly. Or like, and also like every now and then, like we wouldn't know, but he'd have like one of those like 1920s ear cones like in the door, and he's just like, I'm so glad they're having good sex.
Oh my god, it makes me so happy.
And then you know we want to make him feel good, so like every time he pees, we say,
"Damn boy, were you just frying chicken in there?" For real though, you piss
loud as fuck.
I think that's pretty cool.
That is, I mean, Perry said it better than I could. It's an obscene sound clip.
It is like it's so fucking aggressive, and like what I there's so many layers to it because, like, so you know there has been like a kind of like there's like a running thing of like if you piss really loud, like theoretically you have a big dick, but I mean,
so I think actually the logic behind it's that, and it's like, oh, you command the room even when you're not in the room. Okay. Like you making a loud ass sound in the bathroom that we can hear from the living room. Damn boy. We're all listening to you, even if you're in the other room.
But what I love about it, like what makes it so aggressive, is she goes, "You piss loud as fuck," and then she doesn't explain why she says that, and she goes, "That's pretty cool."
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. One more time, just for good measure.
Damn boy, were you just frying chicken in there? For real though, you piss loud as fuck. I think that's pretty cool.
I think that's pretty cool.
That's so ridiculous. It's so funny.
Just for good measure too.
Silent, or were you silenced?
I love her.
Yeah,
she's so good.
She's such a performative queen.
I know.
So yeah, our Derek Chauvin video has gotten traction.
That's right. We posted that like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
People are like,
it was a sleeper. Well, because the trial started to happen. Right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which was like weird. So we posted that video, and like if you watch it in its entirety, and I listened back to it just to make sure, like we're not promoting either outcome as like good or bad. It's just sort of like
we're making an objective observation.
Yeah, just based on what we saw in the well, you know what I saw, but you've now seen clips of it since that, like the entire arrest video, and like now that you've seen it, what do you think about that video?
No, yeah, I think what we said about it kind of stands. I think like he'll probably get acquitted, because I mean, actually, you reminded me of this. The defense hasn't even spoken yet.
Nope.
The defense hasn't even gone up. It's just been the prosecution.
And he seems super confident, the defense. I mean, he's just sort of like the questions they'll give are just like, okay. All right. Yeah.
So, like, at this point, like, I think they're going to do something like we just watched the Jinx. I think they're probably going to end up getting him off like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just going to be like, I don't know. Like,
well, the fact that they could get Robert Durst off for killing and dismembering somebody,
right,
makes, you know, if Derek Chauvin gets convicted and like that isn't an outcome I want, I think what he did was horrible, blah blah blah, all this stupid shit that I tried to explain in the last video, but we still got called racist, which I knew would happen.
Funny, super hilarious.
Yeah.
Kelly
Thomas. Who is that? Oh, he's white and I'm black. So
he's just some scapegoat for you. It's like no.
Like
that's the worst instance of police brutality to ever exist.
Yep, it is classified as the worst police beating that has ever happened in history, like in modern history, right? And again, like they said Kelly who, that person on the comments, and I just posted the Wikipedia because the pictures of his face are on Wikipedia and they're horrifying.
I looked today; it was awful.
It's crazy, right? I mean, so now that you've seen it, do you agree with the statement that I made of like I'd much rather have died like George Floyd than Kelly Thomas? And like,
imagine getting your face fucking beaten to a pulp and then died from that.
Right, and the reason why that story went nowhere is because the main cop that beat him was Latino, and totally got acquitted. No
what
charge.
Year was this? 2011?
Yeah, like 2011, like about that time period.
Yeah, I'm wondering though because like the race culture war was not at its peak. You know,
it comes and goes. Like so, Rodney King, you have to remember, was 90.
It was 93, 92,
94.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of the Sublime song. But anyway, yeah, like it was early 90s. So this is not new, you know.
That's true. But yeah, like you said, it does come in waves. And I think like this was a lull in sort of like hyper fixation on race. And now we're at a super high point of that. So it's like, of course, something like this where a black man gets killed, is going to be a bigger story than a white man getting killed by a Latino cop in 2011.
Because it makes well-intentioned, retarded white liberals click, and it makes, I don't think they really know what they're doing, the media. Like, they're making, like, black people in particular really pissed.
Yeah.
And feel like they're owed something they're kind of not, you know? And so it's like, so, you know, like, and what ultimately, like, the biggest tragedy of all this is that, like, okay, you watch that video, right? And you go, okay, the kneeling on the neck thing needs to become illegal.
Right.
It's not.
It's legal for cops to do that in that state.
And still, because none of the activist wing has asked for any sort of incremental
legislative
useful change.
Yeah.
None of it. Because they're all so pissed, which is exactly what the elite want. They want us just to be like mad over immutable dumb shit and like just keep us separated. So like, and the people who were triggered by our video are like, again, perfect examples of the victims of being manipulated in this way. I mean, it's so fucking obvious. But yeah, so I pulled up some things about it. So have we talked about Brooklyn Dad at all?
A little bit. Yes.
I don't like doing like insider baseball Twitter like dumb shit because like, you know, somebody who used to listen to us that I think hates us now, like I can't even understand what he's talking about anymore because it's so inside.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
leftist infighting is like the gayest fucking shit on the planet.
It's like that thing that you showed me that Shu tweeted. Like me in 2011 to 2014.
You're not a leftist. You're trying to defend yourself.
Like, yes, I am. Look at all my stances. And then in 2021, it's like you're not a leftist. Like I don't care.
Like, and it's very simple. Like, and it's you know, it even goes. It's bigger than that. It's like the people on the video, the Derek Chauvin video, calling us racist. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I don't care that you think that. I really don't. I sincerely like being like. I used to get really offended by it, like even kind of until recently, but like being called racist or even like how your friends think I'm like a right-wing person or whatever, like some people, I don't care. I really don't care.
Yeah.
Like, because like I could take the energy and time to explain myself, or I could just know that like you're not curious or interested enough to actually do any kind of investigation.
Yes.
So what purpose would it be for me to put an effort to attempt to do anything?
Right.
So so Brooklyn Dad, Brooklyn Dad is a Twitter
Brooklyn
account who recently was outed as like being paid by the DNC to tweet, essentially, like a lot of money.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like tens of thousands of dollars?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brooklyn Dad is a literal psyop.
Right. Yeah. I mean, quite literally. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
A
so
proven psyop.
so like based on people who are listening now live, especially, know our take on the Chauvin thing, and so I don't have to like explain it again. But Brooklyn Dad had the weirdest fucking take on it. I'm curious, and I'm asking our listeners right now, and then also you, what was the purpose of this take?
Yeah, so Brooklyn Dad says, if Derek Chauvin had taken his damn knee off of George Floyd's neck, he could have asked him what drugs he was taking, and he'd still be alive today. Huh?
Right. So, okay. So first of all,
I don't think he switched.
No, I know.
back.
I
Okay,
haven't.
yeah.
So first of all, they did ask him if he was on drugs.
Yeah.
He said he wasn't,
Right.
and then he admitted that he had boofed them, which means putting them up your butt.
Yeah.
Which, if he was trying to hide something and did that, like that definitely would be what killed him. But again, like we said, like you read the toxicology report and like, yeah, look, with like amphetamines and also with fentanyl, heroin, opiates,
Right. Your heart doesn't know what to do.
it doesn't know what to do. But also like you can build a tolerance, right? So like, but at the same time, it's like we are just looking at this purely from like a legislative angle. So it's like, so would that amount have stopped George Floyd's heart? As an avid user of these things, maybe not, but like the average person, like just as like the baseline metric, absolutely.
Yes.
So Brooklyn Dad, what's weird about this tweet is it's like, okay, so number one, he tweeted this out. Okay, it's like we have to think of like everything he tweets now based on it's in service of the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
So what do you think this tweet's accomplishing?
I truly have no idea. It's so confusing to me because they already did ask him what drugs he was on, but also like, so I don't know. This feels in a way racist.
And
this tweet feels a little racist.
Isn't that funny? Like, I mean, like, I know it's like almost cliche to say it almost sounds like I'm saying like, the colorblind thing, which I think is sort of like it's like a misnomer, like in terms of like saying colorblind means that you don't see race, which is stupid. Like we all see, I see if you're short, I see if you're tall, I see if you're black, I see if you're Asian.
Yeah.
I mean, we like, sometimes I can visibly see you're gay. I mean, like these kinds of things, like we see these things and we make judgments immediately, and then we're proved wrong or right or whatever, based on stereotypes or whatever, which is, if you're proved right, quote unquote, it's subjective and you are leaning into your worst impulses, right? But like us viewing the Derek Chauvin thing the way that we do and talking about it, I think is like totally post-racial. Like I don't give a shit that George Floyd was black.
But
I really don't.
The thing is, like, this whole event has been racialized. The center point of it has been race.
And again, you watch that entire video, there's no like racial angle that you can really even take.
What I'm confused about though is like, so now is the argument like it's no longer one of race, that he did something racially motivated, Derek Chauvin. So it's now just him needing to have asked to talk to him. I'm confused though.
And
like
they did for like the entire video is like around 30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And like it's so weird that like, again, like this take is so strange. So Brooklyn Dad, who is a DNC paid shill, as we've now explained, is admitting that George Floyd might have died of a drug overdose.
Yeah.
But still has to tie in the knee on the neck thing into it, which, by the way, again, if you watch the entire video, the second they were arresting George Floyd, they'd already called the paramedics.
Yeah.
Like they knew something was like not right, but how could they, like, if he doesn't tell them, how could they have possibly known that he was over the edge, like to where, like, this technique they used on this guy's neck probably on George Floyd's neck probably wouldn't have killed him had it not been for hypertension, COVID, and the drugs he was on.
Yeah.
So it's like, is that move okay? No, of course not.
No.
You shouldn't do that. But at the same time, it's like, again, I think you've seen enough of the video to know, like, do you think one of them could have restrained him? Do you think two of them could have? No fucking way.
He was really like out of control.
Yeah.
Literally. And another thing about like paramedics is like it's still illegal for paramedics to step in when police are conducting an arrest. They cannot intervene or obstruct this arrest. So even if a paramedic, which they did, the paramedics arrived, even though they arrived, there was nothing they are legally allowed to do to help him in the meantime while he's getting arrested.
And the video that everybody
until the police like hand him over.
And the video that everybody saw was like once he was finally subdued. And I don't really like, it was such a chaotic 30 minutes that like I don't even think they were paying attention. Like, and also a bit like they weren't even paying attention to whether or not he was fine anymore. You know what I mean? It was like, and then on top of that, like, the one of the girls that testified for the prosecution was the woman who filmed the main video. Or no, she didn't film the main video, but she's like one of the people filming, and she's like a firefighter who's also an EMT.
Yeah.
And she said like the cops wouldn't let her like provide service, and the defense just kept saying like, well, was the crowd getting escalated? Were like, you're like how emotional you guys were, how angry you were, was it getting escalated? And she said yes, and then kind of like started to defend herself. But it's like, so you guys are making such a fucking stink over what's happening. Like, how could they like and they're outnumbered now by you.
Yeah.
And so it's just like this was a fucking tragedy that I don't think was anyone's like fault.
Right. There are a million steps that led to
him dying, including
the base legislation that has provided for police to make this maneuver, for EMTs to not be able to intervene. All this shit needs to change. It's literal change that needs to happen, but has yet to.
And it won't.
It will never.
Because look, Black Lives Matter is a fucking money embezzling organization that does not care about Black lives at all. The amount of I think they raised what $20 million at a minimum during the George Floyd thing, and where have they spent it?
Right.
They've not done shit with it. But again, if you had $20 million behind you, you could hire fucking top-notch legislators to get rid of all these things that resulted in George Floyd's death. Yeah. Not to mention shit that you have to admit that cops are not equipped to deal with people who are in drug-induced events or mental illness or whatever else.
Right.
Things that could actually save Black lives, but they don't give a shit.
They don't.
They're just liars.
And I mean, also the Minnesota bailout fund?
Yeah.
They made $40 million and only spent $2 million?
If they made $40 million, then Black Lives Matter must have made $60 million. I mean, much more.
I think they made $38
I think they
million
spent
or something
the
or $3.8 million. I don't know. One of those.
The bailout fund spent $600,000.
Yeah, so they're spending a minute fraction of what they made to bail people out. Where did the rest of the money go?
And we said it we were still in my bedroom doing this. I said that they're gonna get busted for money embezzlement. I mean, there's just no way. Because I don't again we talked about it on the last one of material change, what needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you guys are called Black Lives Matter, and you've raised tens of millions of dollars. I want to see the material change. You have the material. Now change shit.
Yeah.
Change it. But they're not going to. Because, this is what always fucking happens with nonprofits. But and you look at the fucking salaries of the executives, and you're like, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
and again,
that's profit.
and again, and I said this even back then, go read their website. Their objectives are rooted in queer theory shit. It doesn't really have to do with black people. It's
and they really they focus on global issues too.
It's weird,
even though they're a domestic group.
If they just made their focus very myopic and acute, they would actually accomplish something.
Yeah, you would think so.
Step one. Again, so this we're almost at a year later from this event happening, right? Is the knee on the neck thing illegal? Have we seen anybody fight for it? No, that would have
I
been
haven't even
step
seen anybody talk
one.
about it.
Step one. That would have been step one. Trump
Yeah.
passed something to kind of like, make this not happen, but like that was all ignored because,
It's Trump.
It's Trump. So, like, prison reform, nonviolent drug offenders, like there's so much money, like so many things you could throw your weight around that is now material capital money.
Yeah.
And they've not done shit. So
Right.
honestly, like the people who call us racist, fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And also, like, I don't really care about your opinion. And also, I don't care if you're black. I don't give a shit. I really don't care. Because, like, if you saw that video as something that would galvanize you and inspire you based on your race or your dumb identity that really doesn't matter in terms of everything, like, if you want to make it about something that results in change, you would be way more pissed right now. But it's easy for you to just watch us giving sort of the objective truth about what might happen and call us racist, because then you could just be like, oh, I did the right thing. I did my work for today. How about you fucking pressure the organization called Black Lives Matter to actually do something, because they have money you don't have, but they never will.
Right.
Which is like why the left accomplishes nothing
Right.
ever. So, but and the right wing has to, of course, do retarded shit. So here we go.
Oh God.
Here's Steven Crowder.
Oh God, Steven Crowder.
He's such a fucking dildo.
What the hell is going on?
Okay, so so this is like a diagram he had drawn up. So
Yeah.
and again, like this is also why like our point will just be aligned with Steven Crowder's, which is like what makes it so annoying.
Oh, I hate that shit.
So then, of course, he now demonstrates, and then look where this person's knee is. It's not
Not
on
even close.
his neck. Yeah, he is such a fucking. Okay, come out of the closet, number one, Steven Crowder.
Yeah, he's definitely gay.
Oh God, come on.
Or trans.
Yeah, well, yeah.
He loves
really
dressing
likes
up
dressing
like a
up like
woman.
women. It's borderline bizarre. Like,
Yeah.
where it's like, dude, just admit something. But
Yeah.
like what he's attempting to do is like there was actually something really interesting that happened. So I love Christopher Hitchens, right? And I'm really bummed he's dead and not around anymore. But one of the things that he did that was like one of the biggest mistakes and regrets that he admitted like when he was dying was supporting the Iraq war, right? And then when it started to kind of come out about like the torture thing in particular, he for Vanity Fair had himself waterboarded like by professionals to determine whether or not it was torture.
Yeah.
And he, I think, withstood about like 7 seconds and was like, "This is absolutely torture. This is horrible." And I think that Steven Crowder is attempting to be as interesting, thoughtful, and he's trying to do a Christopher Hitchens thing. He sucks. I hate him.
Yeah.
So much. And that's like what's funny is like one of the most viewed videos on our channel is the Carlos Maza one.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And what I found really interesting about that video is like a lot of the people who liked it and commented and watched it were like conservative people, but we said at least 17 times in that video that this guy Crowder sucks.
Yeah.
We're not defending him. We just think Carlos Maza is an annoying tattletale faggot who like makes us embarrassed to be gay.
Yeah.
And so I think Steven Crowder, like I don't even think his audience likes him. I think like older people Bizarro World Tom, if Tom was like a Republican, they love Steven Crowder, but it's like that demographic only. It's kind of like Ben Shapiro too. Like Ben Shapiro doesn't have young listeners,
right?
And
who was that? Who's the host of that new Fox late night show?
Greg Gutfeld.
Greg Gutfeld. Awful, so embarrassing, but boomer audience for sure.
Boomer audience. And like, you know, what's so funny is like, because we're listening to Rising talking about that show this morning, and you know, like what was the billboard they said that he had up?
Cancel culture is canceled. Greg Gutfeld at 11 p.m. Thursdays or whatever the
right.
fuck.
And then you watch the Greg Gutfeld show, and like, you know, the objective obviously is to be competitive with, you know, John Oliver or Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel, like whatever. He's like trying to be like a conservative late night talk show host.
Right.
But because you're aligning like all these shows I just mentioned that are liberal on the conservative side, because you're aligning with a political party in order to make jokes, it's equally as milquetoast and unfunny as those people.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and what sucks about Greg Gutfeld is he used to be interesting. Like I was telling you this morning, like he used to host a show called Red Eye, and he would have like Patrice O'Neal on, like the comedian, or like Nick Mullen from Cometown. Like he had really like Nick Mullen was on Red Eye with Ann Coulter.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was like really interesting and weird to like see this kind of show, but like, so like it was people who were on the left, but like acerbic, you know, and the people on the right, like Ann Coulter, who knows her lane and knows how to like trigger people and get people pissed. So much so that I actually respect her kind of, just for being so unabashedly an asshole, like on the right. Mm-hmm. But then he did this show called The Five, which I'm sure you've seen. Greg Gutfeld
I know
did.
The Five, yeah.
And then it's like everybody just agrees with his points, and that Jesse Waters fucking fruitcake. And then they would have Juan Williams on, the like Latino named black guy who was like the liberal, but he would just be he was like the heel of the show, like where he was just there to sort of get told he was stupid. And what was annoying, and like almost why I think Juan Williams was like a psyop on that show, was he would bootlick for the Democratic Party in like really dumb ways. Yeah. Like, I mean, like never ever would he ever just be like, yeah, you guys have a point on that one. Like it's a good point. Like I've got nothing to say here. It was just always like, well, you know, I think Hillary Clinton is a really good, important voice in politics. And they're just like, oh, shut up, retard. Yeah. You know? But if he just goes like, yeah, she's fucking toxic and everything she attaches herself to turns to cancer and just, or shoots itself in the back of the head twice. So, you know, it's just, you know, and also too, I mean, her going and shooting up those Asian massage parlors was a really bad move by Hillary Clinton. I mean, I don't think she can come back from this.
How could she?
I don't think she can come back.
No way.
No. So yeah, the title of this podcast, The Double Mutant Variant.
Yeah, what the fuck is going on?
Double Mutant Variant.
It's great timing because we're all going to be vaccinated in 7-8 days.
Isn't it bizarre? And we've said this before, like with the Fauci thing we talked about, like how much the mainstream media wants to undermine the efficacy of the vaccine.
Yeah.
It's weird, right?
Yeah.
Like, so we're going to go get the Pfizer one. Like, I've decided that is the one we're going to get.
We want the Pfizer, baby.
I have people in my real life, not anecdotal evidence from articles or right-wing people like, that have gotten the Moderna one, gotten super sick. So the second dose. And the Johnson & Johnson one is not effective enough for me to be interested. So I'm like, you will not foist this dumb shit on me. Fuck you. Because you, like, the people who were, like, giving out these vaccines and, like, also fluffing up the Johnson & Johnson one have been hysterical about this virus for a fucking year. So you're gonna like foist one that is not as effective, even if it was 5% less effective. Fuck you. Yeah. Like there's no way that like you're gonna. But if it is an option for people who only want to get one dose, then I understand it. Mm-hmm. But if it becomes the only option, dude, that's going to make me pissed. But I think that it seems like you have the three options. You can choose what you want to do, which is great. I'm hoping that that is the case. So we're going to get the Pfizer vaccine, but I do find it really strange that I think it's like the liberal pajama class that just doesn't want this to end.
Oh, yeah. There is a small but very vocal group of people that would love to continue being a good person by staying inside and doing their civic duty, who are willing to lose their friendships over something like this. It's insane to me. I've actually seen tweets that are like, even though you're vaccinated, you still can't go outside. You still can't travel. You can't see your family. You need to protect other people. And it's like, fuck off, dude. If you being a police officer is what fulfills you, go to the fucking academy. Yeah. Get off of Twitter. Leave your fucking house.
Go be a fucking security guard in the mall. Like go like a meter maid.
If you want to be a cop, that's your opportunity. Yeah. Not Twitter vaccination politics.
Dude. And it's gotten. I mean, it's such a repugnant personality. You know, it's crazy. Like to tie it back to the thing before, like it is the people calling us racist on the Derek Chauvin video. Like, isn't it annoying that we see things just for what they are? Like, and everybody, I think people do, but they're scared of betraying their tribal instincts.
I also think that people think that we're chuffed about seeing things this way. That like
It sucks.
because we see mostly like objective truth or like have trained ourselves to do so. It's like I think people assume that we're happy with what we see, and that's almost never the case. I have an ideal vision. I'm not going to enforce it on anybody, but like my ideal vision has nothing to do with what I see as the objective truth. They're completely separate.
Yeah.
So us talking about Chauvin in our last clip, gaining traction and people calling us racist or bigots or whatever, it's not that the truth is what we idealize. It's just what we see or what we think we see.
I know. And so like, and again, so, you know, the objective truth, like I want people to all be vaccinated.
Yeah.
You know, and another good example of just like being objective is Florida seems to have made the right decisions.
Yeah.
You know, like
miraculously it worked out for them.
we don't like Ron DeSantis, and the more liberal cities who were more restrictive about everything have much higher rates of everything. Like you know, things just went worse. But that isn't a judgment call on either of them making these different decisions. I mean, it's purely just neither of them knew. Like neither side knew really what the right choice was going to be.
It was too early to know for sure.
So like I'm not celebrating Ron DeSantis for making the quote unquote right decision. It's just more like
He made a decision that worked out. He didn't know it was going to be the right one. Nobody knew it was going to be the right one.
And you know, like in the 60 Minutes thing where they edited this clip of him talking about Publix and them giving out the vaccine was so proving that they are so butt mad about him being
Butt mad.
like correct on accident.
Yeah,
you know?
on accident. Exactly. That is the key word here.
Like in
the operative
because like I
word.
think that like sort of what accidentally happened was herd immunity plus vaccination results in it just not really being a problem anymore. So anyway, we should get to this article because I do want to actually I have not read this article, but I do want to see what they say about it.
Yeah, this is double mutant coronavirus variant detected in San Francisco. One of the mutations in the new strain is similar to that found on both variants first detected in Brazil and South Africa. The second mutation has been found in a variant in California. A new double mutant strain of the coronavirus has been discovered in San Francisco, marking the first time the variant thought to be behind a surge of cases in India has been identified in the United States. The mutation is referred to as a double mutant because it carries two mutations that help the virus attach to cells. The Stanford Clinical Virology Lab identified and confirmed one case of the variant that originated in India. Recipe for continued disaster. This ridiculous. I hate political cartoons.
I don't think this was a right wing. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway.
The case is a patient from a Stanford healthcare clinic and likely occurred in Santa Clara County, according to the Chronicle. County health officials said they are not monitoring the new variant because it isn't on the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's list of concern, according to the Chronicle. One of the mutations is in the new strain is similar to that found on both the variants first detected in Brazil and South Africa. The second mutation has been found in a variant in California. Mutation is believed to be more transmissible than the original strain of COVID-19, but is not yet known if it is more resistant to vaccines. Peter Chin-Hong.
Okay, let's stop right there. Chinese. No.
Oh my God. An infectious diseases expert at the University of California, San Francisco, told the Chronicle that the variant is the first time two mutations have been detected in the same virus. This Indian variant contains two mutations in the same virus for the first time previously seen on separate variants. Since we know that the domain affected is the part that the virus uses to enter the body and that the California variant is already potentially more resistant to some vaccine antibodies, it seems to reason that there's a chance that the Indian variant may do that too.
They'll just they'll adapt the mRNA. I mean, it's just like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, at this point, like, just get vaccinated. We'll all be vaccinated in 2 weeks.
And then, like, I mean, because ultimately, like, you know, the thing with the vaccine, like, even the Johnson & Johnson ones, it just reduces the likelihood you end up in the hospital. And, like, that's really what matters. It's just, like, let's just... What are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah,
you know?
like, let's not be scared about this double mutant.
Right. And so, like, just read the last part for posterity.
Initial results from trials conducted with vaccines currently approved for use in the U.S. have shown that vaccines are still effective against variants. And Chin-Hong said he was optimistic that they would be also effective against the double mutant strain as well. Yeah, it's just like this is something that people are going to get scared about, and it'll continue to allow Twitter cops to exist.
Just like these
don't go to
fucking
bars.
feckless, effete bullies. You know?
Yeah.
Like
don't go to bars.
Get your vaccine passport.
Oh god.
So Greg says Moderna seems to be more available up here in
Northwest Indiana, I believe.
Yeah. Earliest appointment was I was able to get mid-May. Oh, that sucks because we can do it in mid-April. I think it opens up for here. And it was a Moderna-only site. Some sites are doing both Moderna and Pfizer, but I've been hearing from friends in the area that it's mostly Moderna. Moderna's fine. Like it's just like if it was the only one available to us because like its efficacy is like the same as Pfizer, I would get it. It's just like because I can't avoid it. Just because of, you know, people I know getting like it's like a day of being uncomfortable, you know.
Yeah, it's like a fever. People have said it's like having like a bad fever for one day.
Right.
You know?
And my parents, who are my genetics, had no problem with the Pfizer one, didn't get sick. So I'm like, that's the one that I'm going to go with. You know?
I think I'm the only person in my family who has like, well, actually, I guess my brother too, but like I don't know, like in my immediate family, it's like because my parents don't really want to. My sister's not going to. She's pregnant.
Yeah, which by the way, like I think is a reasonable reason not to get it.
I respect that decision completely.
Yeah, because like I mean, like again, like you know, we can say that it's totally fine if you're pregnant to get it, but if I was a girl and I was pregnant, I'm not about to like thalidomide my baby. Like you know, theoretically this could happen. You know, like it probably won't. Like 95 percentile that this would have no effect on your fetus, no problem. But that 5% is not worth it to me.
Yeah, and she's like young and healthy and active, so she's not in any danger.
If you can't eat sushi, why would you get an experimental mRNA? I mean, come on, you know.
Exactly.
Like it just it makes perfect sense. Perry says, "Looks, I'm getting my jab this weekend. Good for you." And I love that you're using the British slang on that.
My jab.
The jab. But yeah, so we're excited to get it. Like mostly just because it's like I don't want to think about this anymore. It's just like, and also too, just to be like, you know, we're vaccinated. It's, like just from like a social aspect because it's just gotten so fucking ridiculous, like with people, and because again, like nobody uses logic. It's like all like there's like an objective truth, and there are your emotions, right? And then people are unable to untangle these two things. It's like I can emotionally feel an opinion about mine that is a subjective truth, but I at least will stop before getting upset about it to then observe the objective truth and be like, this is probably the likelihood and the reality of what's going to happen, these kinds of things. But people are unable to untangle these things.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that.
That is that.
Greg says, I'm not worried. It's just interesting to me that a lot of other places are like, choose whichever one you want, any of the three, and that seems not to be as much of the case here. And I'm not sure if that's just my area or the whole state. I wonder if it's like because it's cold as shit. Like I don't know. Or like, because I know like the Texas snowstorm like fucked up a lot of distribution of it, but I would think at this time it would be settled.
Did you hear?
But also like Greg lives in the middle of nowhere, so
yeah. Did you hear about how the U.S. invested in some small biotech firm that was developing a vaccine? Like from the start, they put in hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions into this company, and they have yet to provide any inkling of a vaccine. I saw this on Twitter today as like a news story. Gone. The money, they have nothing to show for it. This biotech company that was supposed to develop another vaccine, nothing.
I think I remember which one you're talking about. Like I remember like hearing about them early on. And it's actually funny because like so we like, you know, other than, you know, Russia has the Sputnik one, which they say is super effective. Israel has their weird Jewish vaccine that's super effective. Like I don't know, like
Jewish vaccine.
And both of those countries are so full of propaganda. Like who's to believe anything that either of them say? We're at anti-Semitic now. But like yeah, but it is kind of cool or interesting that like because like the AstraZeneca one in England like sucks in comparison to what we have.
Yeah.
And so it's
Canada
like,
doesn't even have vaccines.
Canada doesn't have shit. I love so much like, and I wish our one Canadian listener that I flamed into I think not wanting to watch our shit anymore. Like all the stuff you guys did right in Canada and all the posturing and all the psychosis of your fucking gay
It
prime
led
minister.
to this.
It led
We are
to this.
moving forward, and they are stuck.
They're stuck, and they are desperately asking us for our leftovers.
Mm-hmm.
And so, good job, Canada.
Yeah, you did great in the first half. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Greg says he's out in the sticks. Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Matt Gaetz.
Matt Gaetz. What the fuck is going on? So Matt Gaetz, I don't know. Did we talk about it 2 episodes ago?
I think we might have briefly mentioned it.
Matt Gaetz is getting accused of having sex trafficking, a minor.
It's a girl,
which is very surprising.
Considering
to all
we
of
thought
us.
he was sex trafficking Nestor. But I found this article on Fox, which I thought was kind of interesting because remember, like they were talking on Rising about like the blanket pardon. This is, like Trump saying that he was not asked to do this, which I think is kind of interesting.
Trump defends Gaetz over allegations, says GOP rep never asked him for preemptive pardon. That's very interesting because the New York Times is saying the opposite.
Right.
So former President Donald Trump on Wednesday issued a statement in defense of Florida Matt Gaetz, political ally who is facing a federal investigation over allegations of sexual misconduct. Statement came after the New York Times reported, and a source told Fox News, that Gaetz once asked Trump White House aides for a preemptive pardon at the end of his term. In a statement Wednesday, Trump said Gaetz never asked him directly. Congressman Matt Gaetz has never asked me for a pardon.
So directly, okay.
Directly, yeah. It must also be remembered that he has totally denied the accusations against him.
Yeah.
This is the first time I'm hearing this.
Okay.
He was a wonderful man.
So the big question was Trump.
Were you silent or were you silenced?
So, yeah. Okay, well, let's just keep rolling.
Yeah, let's see. Gaetz, 38, who was an ardent supporter of the former president, sought blanket preemptive pardons for himself and unnamed congressional allies for crimes potentially committed. The New York Times first reported. The request, however, was said to be viewed by White House officials at the time as likely to set a bad precedent. A source familiar with the situation told Fox News on Wednesday that Gaetz' request was met with lots of eye rolling and wasn't even considered by the White House.
Greg says, I did not even know preemptive pardon was a thing. Is it really a thing? I mean, like, it would just be that, like, him sort of floating the idea to the president to, like, hey, pardon me. Like, so it would just be like asking for it in advance before Trump's term ends.
Yeah. A source familiar with the situation. Oh, yeah, lots of eye rolling. A representative from Gaetz' office did not return Fox News' request for comment. Gaetz is being investigated for potential sex trafficking as well as payments to women. So far, no charges have been filed. The Times noted that it was unclear whether Gaetz knew when he made the pardon request that the Department of Justice had been building a case against a Florida tax collector who has been charged with sex trafficking a minor connected to him. Gaetz has been alleged to have met women through the tax collector who was said to be a political ally. Gaetz has so far vehemently denied the allegations, saying they have been brought forward in an effort to extort him and his family.
It's like there's, it's so funny. It's like,
yeah,
like it's so like, again, because I think that people would like watch us goofing on him, which we have many times, in order like to, as like some partisan angle. I hate all politicians. Like, I would love it if AOC sex trafficked somebody and was like under investigation. It'd be so funny to me.
Hilarious.
I hate all these people. I hate them all. And so it's like whenever like any of them just gets so, elbow deep in like underage pussy, it's hilarious to me. It's the best. So yeah, good riddance. I hope I hope the Capitol gets stormed again in Minecraft and they all die. So it's, that's my opinion, my objective opinion of just how shit, like these people aren't working for you. I mean, come on.
No.
So
this dude is only acting in his self-interest.
Yeah, exactly. Which is underage pussy. So
yeah,
that's that. So there was like one last video that I have that was trending on Twitter now, and I don't really know what it's about. So let's see. It says Alex Jones stops smugglers from illegally transporting children at the border. So I've not watched this video, neither has Sean.
Yeah.
And we're about to see what the fuck this is.
Yeah, let's see.
Run a human being over. Hey,
You got those children in there.
Who are you?
You got those smuggled children illegally. We need the police over here. They got a bunch of kids without their car seats.
What?
Here come the kids with the migrants from all over Central America, Honduras, Guatemala, you name it, right? Now keep in mind, Once they go into this facility, the Border Patrol completely washes their hands of them. If they test negative, they're marched right down the street to the Catholic Charity. From there, they're given clothes, food, financial assistance. The debit cards that they have over $1,200 per person on them. They're then taken to the McAllen Airport in unmarked vans, and then they're released into the United States to a destination city of their choice.
Oh my God.
You got a car seat for them? You got a car seat? That's illegal, bro. Where are you taking these kids? That's illegal.
If you get in a traffic accident, those
Where
kids
are
are
you
going to get
taking these
hurt.
kids? You have a car seat?
It is weird.
That is weird.
How
yeah.
is this? How is this Christian?
Hey, we need the police over here.
How is this
They got a bunch of
Christian?
kids without their car seats. You're
How is this
violating
Christian?
law.
Yeah, that's what matters.
Hey,
You have no comment. See,
you
this
got
is
those children
Christ-like.
there illegally.
You're about to run a human being over. Hey,
What
are you doing, Alex?
Where are you?
You got those
Who are
smuggled children illegally.
I love
Who are
him
you?
so much.
Where are you
What?
taking
You're
these children?
smuggling children.
Are you part of
You got to be
this
legally in that vehicle.
You're not a part of this organization? Who are you? Where are you
We know
taking
you're
these
smuggling
kids?
these kids.
Where
Now
are you
got
taking
them
these
in the
kids?
back of there without
Where
children
are you
seats.
taking these kids? Sir, identify
This is
who
the
you
massive
are.
smuggling.
This is literally human smuggling. These are children.
What
Where are you
is
taking
going
these
on?
And now
Sir,
they
where
get
are
me
you
at the
taking
front.
these kids?
They don't even have car seats.
Sir,
they don't have their seatbelts
Their
on.
seatbelts aren't even on.
They
Where
break
are you
all the
taking these
laws.
children? Sir, identify yourself. Who are you?
Fucking hit me, I'll tell you right fucking
Who do you work for?
Be deep shit.
Are you a part of this organization?
No, sure. I don't know.
So you don't know where these kids are going?
They're going to check the COVID over there.
No, they came from over there. They're not being checked for COVID. So you don't know who you
I
work
need to
for?
call the police.
We need to call the police right now. I want to know where these kids are going.
Why doesn't he just like roll up the window? I'm so confused.
They're
Like,
not going there. You're not making
I think
any
he
sense,
is
sir.
too.
Identify yourself. Who are you?
I don't think he knows.
If somebody rear ends you, those kids are going to get hurt.
I'm
are
so
these kids?
confused though.
I don't know, sir. They will.
Lie them down right there. Get the cops. Where did you get them from?
They're getting checked for COVID.
From the church. Where's the church?
From one church.
Okay, so we just want to make sure that this is all good, okay, sir? I understand you're probably trying to help, at least appearing to, but you literally have a bunch of kids in here, a bunch of minors, all by yourself.
Okay, the police is here.
Okay.
No, there's an adult woman in there with them.
I didn't see her, but yeah,
They're plowed in the back.
What's your name, sir?
that's a cop.
Do you have your ID on you?
Everything
What
just looks
is
weird.
going on?
This
Ew, is
is
he
so-
wearing like a thin blue line? Ew!
Ew.
Ew! That's awful. Of course he's just wearing a fucking bandana.
It's like a thin blue line, like I don't know what you call those. Balaclava.
Yeah.
They're being human trafficked. You're being human smuggled. How do you know?
What the fuck is going on?
It's happening on a daily basis at the southern border.
I'm gonna finish it. Why not?
Yeah.
That's the mom?
Yeah, there's an adult woman in there.
There's a ton of kids in that car though.
Yeah.
Hold on, Mom. Don't photo.
Oh my god.
If I drove around with 3 of my kids in the back of the car, I'd get arrested.
Oh my god.
No.
They look bored as fuck. The kids are not scared.
Yeah, they don't know what's going on. How many kids are in the car?
4, 5?
I think like 6.
Stuff them in the back of a car. The hell's the
So there's
matter
3 in the back. I think
Good
there's 3 in
lord,
the front.
dude.
But they all look like pretty similar. Well, no, they could all. Nah. Well, those two look the same age. Are they twins?
I don't know. That's 3 kids. Oh no, there's maybe more.
There's more in the middle.
Jesus stuffs people in the back of a car?
Oh, shut
You should be
up.
ashamed of yourselves. Every single one of you.
This is so... That's so aggressive. I don't know what to say to that.
I don't really either. I mean,
crazy.
like, it, it's like, well, I don't know. Alex Jones is like, for the record, like Alex Jones has never been a partisan person. Like, yeah, he liked Trump or whatever, and like that pissed people off. But like, he's again, like, he's an entertainer who, in terms of like conspiracy stuff, he called a lot of it really early on. Everyone said he was crazy. Like he talked about Epstein before anybody else I know. You know. And I don't think he's this villain or whatever. I mean, you know, whatever. So that's that point. But the problem is that like the people who are going to share this video and care about it are going to be people on the right that dismissed the kids in cages thing when it was Trump. And then now that Biden, it's like worse under Biden,
right?
Like where like because like neither party has any interest in in resolving immigration reform. Like they have no interest in addressing it. Kind of like Black Lives Matter. They don't care about helping black people. It's like immigration is used as a political football for either side,
right?
While people
neither
suffer
of them
in the middle.
care.
They don't care. So like, you know, I think they were saying that like migrant facilities are up like 1,700%. I mean, it like, and again, they're getting separated again, the children and the parents, and Biden's talking about like building Trump's border wall again. I mean, it's it's
filling
just
in
like
the gaps.
Of course,
they've already they've already started.
So yeah, I don't know what that was exactly. It was optically weird, like
for sure.
So, but there's like no context as to like where were they being transported to? Was it the mother? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
So, and at the same time, like if we're all being objectively perfectly honest, I don't have the calories to burn to care. So I hope people are not getting abused on the border, but like that's the only amount of effort in terms of my emotions I can dedicate towards it. So, but you know, where's AOC crying? You know, she's such a fraud. You know, it's just
right.
Like,
she was taking pictures at the border when Trump was president and crying at the fence.
Yeah,
she had her hands, but now she's not doing any photo shoots at the border. What's going on?
Well, you know, it's never about actually helping people.
No,
like you know, this is like actually been the through line now. It's like it's caring about COVID. It's Black Lives Matter, and it's the kids at the border.
We didn't watch that video of the woman being at the immigrant facility or whatever, the migrant detainment center.
Oh yeah, the one
we didn't watch it on the podcast. Did we?
Ted Cruz was questioning her.
Was it Ted Cruz where he was like, I'm filming these people. This deserves to change.
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
And she's like, it's Ted Cruz who filmed that?
Yep.
And she's like, I need you to respect their dignity.
It's in Donna, Texas, I think.
Yeah, that was, I mean, like, that was an insane video, proper.
Where's the? Let's see.
I hope we can find it.
Yes.
Yeah, this is it. So.
Please give dignity to the people. Please give dignity to the people.
So you work for the commissioner, your senior advisor.
There's so many people in there.
Yeah, you can see the bodies.
Please respect the people,
because the political
rules.
leadership at DHS does not want the American people to know it.
Please respect the
And
rules.
like again, like Ted Cruz, you care now.
So you don't
like
want to
bullshit.
Yeah,
The
seriously.
rules are arbitrary.
But it's a full minute of this exact thing.
Dignity and respect.
Where she's just like,
Well, no,
Dignity
it's
and
not. You're
respect.
asking
I can't. I don't even want to listen to it anymore.
Please give
But the whole
dignity.
thing,
The
the whole thing is
the amount of people in there is just is crazy. Yeah, that was Ted Cruz, Perry. Yeah,
which is like,
it's the guy who's
care
filming it.
now. You care now, Ted Cruz.
Yeah, he does. No, he doesn't. Like
he's pretending to care now because it's Biden.
And again, what's annoying is it's like, you know, it's easy to view Republicans optically as not caring about the border, you know, like, or people that like, you know, might get sex trafficked or raped or like whatever. And they will bring up these stats in order to like, you know, justify their viewpoint or whatever.
Yeah.
But Democrats do the same thing. Like you guys are like all ghouls. Like you got none of you care.
Yeah.
Because like, again, like, I mean, you could make, it would be like, I could write a 10-page bill to reform immigration. I mean, so the fact that it never gets solved, I think both parties like secretly handshake to be like, okay, well, we'll use it this time around, you know, and then we'll use it this time around for this election. Like there's nobody elected cares about this. So
how do you grow up to be this woman who's there? Like just respect their dignity. It's like, no, this place is a fucking monster house.
Yeah. It's like it's a prison, you know.
It's a prison for children. How do you grow up to have this job and so vehemently defend it in the way that's like, respect their dignity, sparkle emojis.
Like, and again, like, exactly. Like, and again, like, you know, material change. It's okay. So the largest amount of like migrant traffic is coming from Honduras and Guatemala. Mm-hmm. So in lieu of actually sending in the military, like boots on the ground, because we don't want that, be like, what resources do you need to make this stop?
Mm-hmm.
That's step one. But like again, like any human rights issue is never solved by our government. So it's like,
right.
And again, reason why I don't care about this is because not because I'm like jaded or shitty or like whatever. We have homeless everywhere in this state. So let's address that first, and then I'll start to care about this.
There's a new tent every time I go to work in Hollywood.
Hollywood is a fucking dystopic nightmare.
It's awful.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. Like I was, and it's dangerous because these people are completely unmedicated and unhinged. It's no fault of their own. They're mentally ill. Like I see homeless people walking on Hollywood Boulevard, like barefoot, like twitching, and like I think like 4 out of every 5 people I saw the other day was a homeless person.
Yeah,
walking down the street. It's like
California's a failed state.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's pathetic. And again, once the artificial, the economy stops getting artificially like floated with like money or whatever, it's gonna get, again, we said this a million times, it's gonna get really dark. So buckle in for the next summer of peace that's gonna come.
Yeah.
And homeless people all around you. So, but yeah, like point of that is number one, all your elected officials don't care about you. Stop rooting for them. And number 2, Michael Pena would make a very good boyfriend.
He is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes, he cooks for us. He cleans for us.
Mm-hmm.
He walks the dog.
He gives me hugs.
Yeah. He reminds me that I am valuable, that I am valid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that's all I really need in a third partner.
Yep, exactly. But anyway, that's all I got.
That's that, you guys. Hope this wasn't too doomery.
No, I don't think it was. No, I think that like everybody who listens to us, Bran. Hi.
Oh, thank you, Bran.
Everybody who listens to us, they feel similar. I mean, they like, again, like people like Bran, Greg, Perry, Tom. They've listened to us for so long. They wouldn't listen to us this much if they didn't agree. And sometimes it just feels good to have somebody. It's people who are just sort of smarter and more curious, like just say like, say things that are true, and also like say things that could get you in trouble. Like that Derek Chauvin will probably get acquitted,
I want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
I want to lose my job over this.
Yeah. That'd be something, wouldn't it?
That would be something.
But yeah, go to subscribe to Perry's gaming channel. I should have linked it in the description, but I haven't, but just go search for him.
Yes.
And then we will see you next Wednesday.
Yes, we'll see you Wednesday, guys. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. And have sex with Michael Pena. Goodbye.